Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fleet Sunday streamings. I know it's delayed, but we had the whole Sunday was weird, but I'm here, and here I am. I'm streaming on a Sunday, but it's Tuesday. But shh, don't tell anyone. They won't know. Anyway, so yeah, Sunday streaming. Yeah, we're here now. Let me just bring in the Emperor as a hegemon, just to make sure we secure our position. So yeah, Persia's got slightly bigger. Overall, things are going well, mostly. Can't complain, mustn't grumble, all that jazz. What are we gonna get? No, I'm saving up for super heavy howitzers. That's right, because I need those to plow through certain defensive lines. What have you found out? Ah, yes, the blokes with pikes on the sticks to blow things up. Good plan. Oh, what can we make aviation-wise? Helicopters, flying bombs, rocket interceptor, jet engines, ballistic missile would be actually quite useful. Jet engine would also work. I could get a flying bomb. Rocket-propelled bomb. Ooh, that could be useful. Ooh, that's tough. It's a tough one to choose. But again, so for now, everything's going mostly well. First things first, I need to ensure that we have the old Patreon being informed what is occurring, so they could all jump in and join us. And we need to ensure that those people whom I was just talking with come and join Fleet in smashing the world to pieces with a giant sledgehammer. Because surely, I mean, what else are you going to do with your Tuesday evening? Not smash the world with a giant sledgehammer? Hello, Raptor Rat. Nice to see you. Excellent. 295 subscribers. Very good, very good. We will now fight everyone. And let me just make sure that this is kept nice and neat so I can just see it over here. Very, very good. And let me just make sure that I'm not actually using too much bandwidth. There we go. The world domination pushes clock. Everything explodes. I think we'll save up for a jet engine. It might take some time to get, but it will propel our aircraft forward incredibly rapidly. I think I can't afford to wait too long because I don't want the Allies to win decisively against the French. Because that means that they aren't distracted fully. But I also don't want to go too quickly because I'm not ready. So it's finding that sweet spot where I can attack them with a reasonable chance of success, but they aren't too strong for me to fight against. That's the basic premise here that we're dealing with. In essence. A giant inflatable hammer would send a more put-to-the-point message. Giant inflatable hammer, giant sledgehammer. Who's really counting? I'm not counting. Give it a second. It's doing this thing. It takes it a minute to get going, but once we're going, we'll be fine. It's like a steam engine. You've got to give it a second. There's a bit of wheel slip, but it gets going, and we'll be all right. World domination. Excellent. Ah, yes. Radios. The wonders of the modern era. We know how to communicate. Truly. What a great idea. And we will concentrate our battle fleet should we need to. Excellent. Okay, do we actually have any new fight? We do. Okay. We need to move forwards with our fighter designs. Make them bigger, better, faster, stronger. Well, can't do too much with them, but I can at least create something that's better than the previous designs were. At least try and squeeze as much performance out of this improved airframe with these older engines as we can. So this will be the Imperial Iranian Aircraft Corporation F3 Aerocobra. Honestly, we totally didn't nick off with the designs from the Americans, we swear, honestly. That guy in Washington who just happens to look like a Persian diplomat. Honestly, total coincidence. No relation at all to the Shah, we swear, honest. And we also totally just didn't steal the... We totally also didn't just steal the designs for a dive bomber. Honestly, totally, Gov, we didn't. We swear. Normally I'd have reinforced construction on my dive bombers, but in this particular case, that will not be viable. And this, of course, will be the IIAC C2, sorry, C3. What was the land-based version of the SBD? SBD Dauntless. And I know it had a land-based version, but I've forgotten the name of it. Oh, come on, I used to know this. What was the name of it? Oh, come on. Do I consult the Forbidden Oracle? I may have to consult the Forbidden Oracle. It might be... I'm going to consult the Forbidden Oracles. 1 second. Let me think. Anyone know the name of the land-based version of the SBD? I need it! I need it! I need it! I don't know what it is. I used to know. I don't know now. I used to know what it was. Sadly, I don't know. It's a shame, really. Okay, we'll name it later, but for now it's just the C3, and that's fine. And that's all it needs to be. Just needs to carry more bombs and drop them on things. Nope, we've still got a basic medium airframe, nothing wrong with that. Trying to build up our long-range maritime patrol aircraft force. Again, I'm probably going to get improved engines, really try and increase the performance of our airframes as best we can. Again, we're waiting for improvements to our Third Empire of Haiti. Okay, that's definitely a weird one. But okay, so the most important thing here is 3 things. We need to increase the performance of our land armies, more accurately their size. We need to drastically upscale our air force, and we also need to increase the performance of our tanks, so that they're fairly capable of at least dealing with some of the lighter armor that we're liable to encounter out here. Reliability here is key. We need our armor to be able to function reliably without getting its teeth kicked in, basically. It's not so much speed that matters here. They're basically cavalry tanks. They need to be able to move with cavalry, and they can. I can probably make them cheaper by giving them gasoline engines and dropping the requirements down, and that means I can add more armor. And I've probably also got room for, I've already got radios, and I've also got room for extra ammunition to make them even more boomy. So it's a 3-man turret with a small cannon, so that would probably be, if I remember correctly, in terms of how it goes, if I remember right, and I think I've got it right, it's the third of these Toldi alikes, basically. Oh, I forgot to add turret armor on. Not a problem. So not you, not you, not you, not you. It is you, I think. Yes. And I forgot to add on turret armor to make it even tougher. So this would be the Imperial Armored Corporation. Let me think. So this tank is fairly heavy. This would be the L18 43. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. It's far more expensive than the L841 that came before. But increased price, increased capability. Focus on performance. Yes, the maximum range of our blokes in diving suits with a mine on a stick will increase. We might actually be able to cover the Gulf with them. I mean, make entering the Gulf fairly dangerous. Just some bloke with an explosive device on a stick comes and pokes the bottom of your ship. You're in trouble. We are exercising the Persian Gulf Defense Fleet. It's the early phase of the Iranian Navy, centered around the Ares-class pre-dreadnought Ares. But the main force that will be carrying the war to the oceans is the Indian Ocean Battle Fleet. It's a fairly effective force. Some things might need refit before the Great War kicks off, but it's not too much of an issue. Let me see, has anyone... Thank you, Moe! Thank you. Now I can rename the IAC Imperial Iranian Aircraft Corporation C3 the Banshee. Yeah, Banshee. Oh, Fall of Gibraltar. Okay, that... Oh, that complicates things. The Iberians have joined the French, and they've pushed back into southern France. That changes things significantly. Yeah, I really don't want to leave this too long, because if I leave it too long, the French are going to fall, and I really, really do not want that. If that happens, we are in big trouble. I may have to accelerate my plans beyond what I am comfortable with. I had hoped to have more time. I had hoped that we would be able to wait longer before we actually had to commit. But we may actually have to go to war before the end of the year is out. That is not something I was anticipating. But it is something that I'm basically looking at and going, I don't think we have a choice. We basically have to commit to a fairly large and fairly heavy campaign. And I don't really have a choice. I'll stand up the other air wings to support the Eastern Front, but the West really does need the air power. Because the plan is basically we need to drive the British out of Egypt quickly, rapidly. No delays. Otherwise... Thank you, Raptorat. Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you very much. Nothing much to do now, except just wait for a few things to fall into place. Aha! Excellent, so we finished the first ships. So these are the Omega-class Panzer ship, or more accurately, large cruisers. And this is the Indian Ocean Scouting Force. So these two will lead that force. Then I want a new class of cruiser. Post-war cruiser hull is what we've got. So again, we will rework the Hammerhead into a new form. Since it's the vessel that's going to be in first contact, ideally you want it to be slightly more powerful. We don't have the experience to do too much, but we can at least upgrade the dual turrets to triples. We do at least have the experience for that. And we can give better fire control and probably at least some AA. And so these will be the Black Drum class, which I actually like the name of. Black Drum. And the goal here will be to... So we're going to construct 4 of these in parallel. Black Drum, Mercury's Radiance, Amazonite, and Odin, which I do like that. Those are some actually really decent names. They're not Iranian, but they're actually kind of decent. Then they're catchy, and they stick with you, which is good. And then they will form the light cruiser contingent of the scouting group. Again, we are waiting on the return of some of our dockyards from repair. Obviously repairing the Anubis class and the DD3, who are currently exercising to try... Oh, no, they're not. They've finished their exercising, which is good. And now we just continue forwards at pace. Very, very good indeed. Good evening, Megascrow. Welcome. Welcome to the Iranian world conquest, which is basically what it's turned into. The plan originally was to restore the Persian Empire, but in order to do that, we're going to have to fight everybody. So, yeah, we're kind of forced into taking measures beyond that which I had hoped to take this early. Luckily, the world's fighting everyone else, so there's multiple different factions fighting each other, so I am able to take advantage of the confusion. Well, there are 5 people watching. This is actually decent. Nice to have 5 of you showing up. All well and good. Good stuff. Love to see it. Standard designs. Yeah, there we go. Let's... So again, we are now going through the process to re-equip with our 3rd generation of aircraft and our 2nd generation of monoplanes. But that's not really surprising. Yep, I want infantry equipment to help improve our ability to attack and defend. Now then, we need to consider our likely opponents in the region. The Royal Navy is probably tied up with the French, which isn't surprising. So it's the Indian fleet that we're likely to face. They have a large number of destroyers, mostly into war. There's also the Australian Navy to possibly consider. But given the fact that they haven't managed to invade the Netherlands, it's not too much of an issue. They have a lot of light cruisers, but we actually have full-on battleships, so I'm not too concerned. And we are bulking up our cruiser numbers. The UK still has Hood, Renana Repulse, Nelson, all 5 KGVs they finished. They built 2 Lions. Oh no, sorry, they built 5 Lions of 3 different subtypes. They built 3 Ark Royals, 6 Illustrious Class. Okay, so the Royal Navy is a fairly substantial force. And they have plenty of warships knocking around. Who else can they rely on? Canada doesn't have any capital units. They're at war with Russia and Japan, so that will probably wear down their assets. Japan has finished a single Yamato. They may have lost some of the ships, though. They have 10 carriers. They have Soryu, Hiryu, 2 of the Shikakus, Akagi Kaga, Zuiho Hosho. Russia is with Japan. They've completed 2 Molotov class and 3 to 4 Chapayevs. The submarine force has taken a bit of a beating in the war. Their destroyer force is mostly intact. They have the 3 Kirovs and the 3 Sevastopols still as their only capital units, however. People's Republic of China doesn't have a navy. Austria is trying to get a navy. Germany is a socialist republic and does have at least 1 carrier. Italy has a fleet, but again they're engaged in fighting the French. The French do still have a basic navy. The Iberians have some of their fleet left, but it's getting chewed up in a war with the British. But they are at least able to supply their forces in North Africa, who are putting up a bit of a fight. So, provided that we're able to take and retain local superiority, we should be fine. That's the thing. Local superiority. If we can attain that, we'll be fine. I plan to build some coastal submarines, though. If I can find them. There we go. Some small coastal boats. Very small coastal boats. These will be the Type 1s. Actually, did we already make some subs? No, we didn't. So these will be the Type 1s. Type 1 boats. Again, very cheap. So they will take the slot of the convoy, and we will build 10 of them to serve in an Iranian Persian Gulf flotilla to back up the Persian Gulf fleet. That's the plan, anyway. But you know what they say, plans don't survive contact with the enemy, so we need to be thinking ahead. So, we know the British are moving troops through the area on a fairly regular basis. So, personally, that leads me to go, well, we need to have a force that's capable of resisting the British in the south. Ideally, actually, the force that we have in the south should be able to fairly effectively push the British out, ideally. Luckily, the garrison forces do retain some heavy armament. They have anti-tank rifles, machine guns, and support artillery. So they aren't completely without recourse to heavier arms. The problem we have is a lack of support equipment. Artillery and anti-aircraft guns are actually not short on. Speaking of, actually, I should probably add support anti-air to all of my mainline divisions ahead of a war with a major power that has an air force. That would probably be a good idea. No thank you, Britain. No military access for you. And the elite brigades probably need it as well because, again, they're going to be doing some of the hard pushing, and we really don't want them getting broken down or damaged. If we invade Yemen first, the surprise should be pretty total. I believe the Yemeni army is overseas doing other things. It is somewhat sizable, but I think it's all overseas. If Yemen can fall, that's the hardest bit, and then we sweep eastwards across Arabia. We have our eastern flank, and it's covered. The plan is to drive into India to a limited extent, and then hold along this river line. Not only will it provide additional basing for future submarine operations, but it will also provide us with an ability to, well, hit the enemy quite hard. Even with decently sized submarines that aren't even the midget boats, we can just raid into the Indian Ocean. If we can capture ports in Sindh, we can actually keep building the midget subs and have them raid into the Indian Ocean. I mean, with ports in Mecca, we could actually have a midget submarine force raiding in the Red Sea. That would really mess up British trade. It's really going to start causing problems. We need to start actually making sure that we increase our decrease our age limit for conscription and increase when people retire from the army. Because otherwise we are not going to really succeed in this war in the way you would hope. And of course we want some music. There we go. Oh. Yeah, very good. And we get some more experience. We don't have enough breakthroughs yet. We have 2. I want more than that. Rocket interceptors could be useful, though. They are fairly cheap to get, and they would give breakthroughs while doing it. Of course, I am planning a new class of large battleship as well to serve in the Indian Ocean Fleet. But I need to get the Indian Ocean Scouting Group up to spec before I can even consider doing that. We're also working on radar. A decent amount of it. To help cover the Iranian Empire so that we don't have any gaps. Also, for the 4 people watching, don't be shy. Make some comments. Give us your thoughts. What do you think? What do you know? Do you think I'm talking nonsense? Or do you think Fleet's actually got a point? What do you know? Let me know. What's the score here? Oh my god, the Iberians have actually helped the French retake most of France. Oh my god. Oh my god. And now the Italians are suffering because of the... Oh my god. Belgian Congo is fighting back against the Allies. And South Africa is nationalist, but is still in the Allies. It's a weird one. But we will, obviously we're building up towards our war. The only real prerequisite I have is that I want to try and get certain things finished. Let's see, what's on the international market? Are there any aircraft? Even older types would help bulk up the Iranian Air Force if there are any in decent numbers. Okay, so the Canadians are selling older naval aircraft. The problem is that would require factories I don't really have. We are building our own medium bombers, so there is that. Well, our own medium maritime patrol aircraft, so there is that. How far away are we from... 34 days from getting our new medium airframes to make even better patrol bombers. And we have enough to create a general for the armies in the south. Which is good, because we will need one. Good. There are some Yemenis troops, but that's not too big of a deal. So how long will it take to justify a war goal? 80 days, okay. Alright. More factories, more interested than 30. Okay, so we can't even do that yet. So I think we need to go towards air production. We have enough dockyards where I can build the fleet already, but we need air production. We need to increase the rate at which we construct airframes. Especially with war on the horizon, we absolutely cannot afford to not have upgraded our airframes. I know our air force is entirely monoplane as it is, but we have to phase out the Hurricanes in favour of the Airacobras and the C2s in favour of the Banshees. And do so rapidly, as quickly as we can. Might even be time to look to an upgraded design. The F4. The Mustang. Carrying an improved turbocharger for even more power. Fire extinguishers. And armor plates. This aircraft, well, quite frankly, it beggars belief. It's tough. It's not agile, but it's very tough. And it's even more heavily armed than its predecessor. Again, we nicked off with the designs of the Mustang from the Americans, alright? Shh. Don't tell them. They don't need to know. So this is the 3 Super Banshee. The main difference being an improved engine and improved turbocharger. Well, for now it's an improved turbocharger, which gives it the ability to have drop tanks and very basic self-sealing fuel tanks. Sorry, this should be the Banshee. Again, this should be the... Okay, just say the Banshee. The Super Banshee will be where the improved engine comes in. And then it can have its reinforced construction re-added. But for now, it has its drop tanks, which is good enough. So we're up to date on all DLCs. Oh wow, it seems like all your chat messages came for you at once. So Raptor is recreating a Sims 4 ship-shaped t-shirt, which is interesting. Mega Scrow says I'm a little busy. Q's Winter Wonderland just went right. Nice, nice. Mega Scrow asks, saw a Sims 4 ship-shaped shirt on social media and DLC a few days ago. Did you make that? No, I did not. Raptorat, what DLC mods are you using? Well, so we're using all the DLC, so the game is entirely up to date, and we're using a special mod set called the Dry Dock Mod Collection. It's the collection of mods that is normally used in the Dry Dock. Obviously, if you want to know, I will be sure to leave a link to the collection in the video description after this is published, so you can use it yourself if you want that. So... Ah! Excellent. We have diving suits. And Italy fractured into civil war. Alrighty then. There we go. 40 days we go to war with the Allies. Make no mistake, gentlemen, this is going to be a long, tough war. But I know we can do it. I know we can power through to final victory. Not that final victory, but actual decent final victory. Marvelous. And I'm going to have this force as a reserve. So I'm going to send it wherever the front is actually looking a little strained. Because it doesn't hurt to have reserves available. But for now, everything is mostly on track. Tank upgrades are going very well. And we'll be at war with the Allies very soon. Ethiopia has broken free and is now at war with the Rajano del Sul, who are in the Czech Entente, which means they're going to... Oh, they're a Romanian puppet. That's hilarious. Italy is a Romanian puppet. Oh my goodness. Now we need to raise the age at which we take people out of the army. That will mean that we actually get more people in, because this is going to be a long, hard conflict. Do we have any spare airframes we can spare for the east? We do. Fantastic. There'll be older airframes, but it will still be airframes, and that's what matters. Our air force isn't small, I just haven't deployed it, because I was trying to keep it fairly elite. Because there are 4 squadrons that have the lion's share of the modern aircraft that we operate. Posted a screenshot of on the Discord during the Historiathon of the previous shirts I made for my use. Nice! Good job, Raptorat! You'll love to see it. This is the Persian Gulf Flotilla. These are small subs. Really, really small. Like, we're talking Type 2s. You're very lucky. If that's what you get. Because it's not even the size of a Type 2. It's even smaller than that. So there we go. Those are nearly done. It looks like the Indian Ocean... we won't venture into the Indian Ocean until the fleet's ready, but we don't have to, really. As long as the Persian Gulf is secure, and as long as we take the Suez Canal in a rapid strike when the war begins. And I don't think the British can garrison the border. I think we are gonna basically blitz through. So the plan is very simple. Given the fact circumstances have changed, we're going to push through aggressively. Try and take all of British Egypt before pushing southwards with the main army. There's the invasion into Pakistan. Once that's done, we're going to lock down and hold along the river line. Oh, hang on, 1 second. Let me just very quickly tell you to go up there. I mean, it only needs 1 division because, yeah, good luck. Because... Okay, that's Yemeni Arab Republic division, but again, that's a single division. I'm not too concerned. Do the defensive garrisons have AA? They do not. They need it. Because, again, they're going to come under air attack, and having the ability to defend against air attack is no bad thing. We have so much AA lying around. It's... Wow, we nearly used our stocks. Nice. So what's our current fighter numbers? So 14 Mustangs, 36 Airacobras, 210 Hurricanes, and 139 of the F-1Bs. If I had a factory spare, I might create a like a wartime biplane rebuild. But I think it's better just to keep filtering in our more modern airframes as best we can. Ah, we're short trains. Okay. We don't need tanks, so I can afford to... Hang on a minute. What are you doing here? Yeah, you shouldn't be there. There's a factory going spare. Okay, that's actually fairly good. So I do have a factory going spare, so we'll build trains for now. That's what we need. How are we doing? So we should be getting close to compliance up here. Not there yet, but we're getting there. Getting a decent amount of compliance out of our areas we've conquered now, because of our extremely lenient policies. Where we basically say we're putting a new flag up. Apart from that, life goes on as normal. Very light touch. Just pay your taxes, which will be lower than the ones you were paying before. Don't do anything stupid like shooting up our troops. But apart from that, just don't be silly, please. Like, again, we have so many. I have so many trucks. I can afford to just motorize my supply to a massive degree and not worry about it. Okay, here we go. This is it. Yep, there we go. That wasn't surprising. Oh, good lord, the battle plan. Go. Go now. Okay, Denmark has joined. The Raj has not, but that's going to change right now. I'm not letting him sit it out. Okay, now I can afford to put everyone on a proper front. Very good. Okay, there we go. British Raj has fallen. We're continuing offensive operations into the Levant. Iranian troops are making headway against the British forces in India. We are deploying our air cover to gain air superiority over the battlefield. We're adopting a defensive posture in the Middle East as planned. If any limited scale offensives can be made, they will be made. Just to try and limit our... Let me just check nothing comes in by sea. Nope, nothing comes in by sea. It all comes in over land. Fantastic. There are only a few internal lines, but they're all within the Persian Gulf, and we have total dominance of the Persian Gulf, as we should do. There we go. So Peshawar has been seized. We're going to now seize the Peshawar aerodrome as well. Because again, this was all part of the plan, was to seize the Peshawar aerodrome and occupy it. There we go. Now we need improved infantry weapons to carry us through to the conclusion of the conflict. Again, things are continuing at a rapid pace. The aircraft are doing incredibly well. We have no air opposition. And we're doing very well down here. Forces in the south facing the British. They're clearly preparing for something in that region, but that's not too bad. Forces are continuing to advance. Even in India, we are... Resistance is stiffening slightly, but we're still making enough headway that I am mostly happy with our gains. We're about to seize the Peshawar aerodrome and supply hub, which is what I wanted. Which means I now need to do what I usually do, which is connect the new supply hub networks to the Iranian railway network. And, again, there's another railway line that we need, which is to here. But let's construct that first railway line before we do anything else. The last thing we want to do is something silly. Okay, the US has declared war on the Mexican Soviet Republic. I'm not surprised. But they're not in the Allies, which is fine. So, for now... They're just fighting the Fourth Internationale, which is an entirely Mexican thing. So hopefully that's just going to be a US-Mexican conflict, an American conflict, so we don't have to worry about them coming into the major parts of the conflict. We're at the verge of... Okay, we've crossed Suez. We have crossed Suez. Suez Canal is now closed to British... assets. Aircraft are moving up to fly over Egypt to make sure we maintain our air superiority and continue to support our ground forces as they go forwards. Bringing our own aircraft forward into forward air bases in Pakistan. We've managed to secure the northern areas, which is what we wanted. And I'm not going to stop. I'm going to stop you, gentlemen, right there. You're already at the river line. You've achieved your objective. Let us continue to push onwards. We've seized another supply dump from the Indians. This is fantastic. Yep, there we go. That's what I was expecting. So that tells me all I need to know. We need to run a new defensive line along the middle of Arabia, but this is why we have the reserves, for exactly that sort of thing. The important thing is we've taken all of Egypt that actually matters. I'm going to push to El Alamein, then stop, because the other Italians are coming the other way, and there's no point actually doing anything else besides that. So far, everything is going well. The other forces are moving by rail. This is all going well. Cavalry units are moving towards El Alamein at speed to try and halt the offensive, but we're doing too well to really be stopped. Resistance is stiffening slightly. We do have some Ethiopian and other troops arriving, but it's not major concentrations, as I might have feared. Indian forces are arriving now in theatre, but we're digging in. We've got decent supply lines. We're better supplied than they are. And I'm actually in a position to launch limited-scale counterattacks in certain areas, which is fine. That's what I want. Okay, we've taken El Alamein. That's all I needed to do. Alexandria is the last stronghold in British Egypt, and the Suez Canal has now been taken. Take brief pause to construct the IAC Close Air Support Aircraft 3C, the Super Banshee. The reason it's the Super Banshee is that it has an improved radial engine, which means it can have reinforced construction, and now also armor plating to make it even tougher, if it wasn't tough enough already. And of course the next thing I'm doing is we're creating a new naval bomber, which again is the IAC Medium Naval Bomber 2, which I'm fine with. Again, light defensive armament, 3 radial engines. It is a tri-motor, lightweight construction, no sights, but it will carry a decent number of light torpedo mountings, which I'm fine with. It will have drop tanks, a Naka cowling. Sorry, Naka cowling there. It will have turbochargers. Again, the real priority here is extra range. And then it will actually use non-strategic fuel, so strategic resources, so it tries to be as efficient to use as possible. Marvellous, fantastic. So keep filling out our numbers of maritime patrol aircraft. This is all well and good. Rocket rails. Yes, rocket rails could be quite useful for close air support aircraft as we go forwards. Invasion into India is continuing very well. Counterattacks in Arabia, some going well, some not. We're just now finishing off the last of the North Egypt campaign. Now we move into the campaign towards the capitulation of Ethiopia. Ethiopia is actually committing a great deal to many allied war fronts, and the sooner we can capitulate them, the better off we are. But as we move into Africa, the demand for aircraft somewhat slows down, and so I am moving now to consolidate my air assets for the push into Central Arabia. Because the demand for air assets in the African campaign as we push southwards is nowhere near as much, and we have the best troops doing it. So continuing to push southwards as we do. I'm now going to consolidate the front, bring in as many troops as we can, reorganize as rapidly as possible to bring as many forces to bear as we can. We've got the forces in situ ready to move in. They just have to do it. Going to conduct some spoiling attacks as best we can. Some Indian troops are resisting, but we're actually overrunning their supply dumps. So they can't actually stop us in any meaningful way. Some forces from British Malaya are here. The Yemenis have sent some troops over to try and stop us. It's not really going in their favour, though. Nowhere near as much as they would like. And we are succeeding. I'm going to add more aircraft to the theatre of operations. Just to massively increase the amount of air power that we have available. Just sheer overmatch now. 800 fighters, and they are older, but then again I would expect the Indian aircraft to be older as well. We're now seizing the Aswan Dam, which will be massively helpful to us. Britain's already stretched thin. They're being kicked off the continent as well. The Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth is considering exactly what to do, but hasn't decided yet. It's at war with Estonia, but it can't reach it. Which is a bit of a problem for them, but hey-ho, what are you going to do? We continue to drive forwards on multiple fronts. We are running into stiffer resistance now. I don't think our goal of actually making it to the river line on all sectors is going to be achieved. So I think we now need to consolidate in place, bring up our forces to the rear, and then consider our next options in India carefully. But we have moved the front lines away from Iranian borders, which was one of the main goals. They just can't stop the advance south into Africa now. And I'm also filling in railway gaps as I go. To try and avoid sea supply as much as humanly possible. Okay, so the cruisers have done. Now, the diving suits. That's hilarious. Mine pole. That's very funny. But no, for now, we don't need that. What I probably want is a modern type of destroyer, so I'll wait for a research slot to become free before I build the destroyers for the Indian Ocean Fleet. We have, however, made decent progress. There we go. It's not perfect, mark you, but we're not doing badly. All things considered. We've gotten to the river line in most places. And where it isn't, it's mountainous. If only I had some breakthrough divisions I could smash through in India. The problem is Britain still retains its naval dominance. Although our forces are basically unstoppable in Africa. And the United States wants to aid us. Strange. Oh, that's right. We're also fighting... No, we're not. Okay, the US wants to aid us. Fine. Sure. The US sending anti-aircraft guns to Iran is... not the worst thing. The start line has moved slightly back from where we started, but we are making fairly decent headway. Not perfect headway, but we're doing fairly well. There we go. Marvellous. And there we go. So let me just take 2 of you and throw you into that assault. Again, we're trying to get as close to the river line in all areas as we can. That's the goal here. The Ethiopians cannot actually stop us. Where do our supplies flow in from, actually? There's some railway bottlenecks, but mostly... There we go. Moving swiftly forwards. Very good. Having some losses in terms of anti-aircraft guns, but we're not doing too badly, all told. The front in Arabia actually looks pretty good, I should say. Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. Okay. Right. How am I going to do this? How much equipment do we have to train up a defensive force? It'll have to do. It'll use because of manpower, but it'll have to do. Actually, no, it's probably better off to keep our offensive into Africa going, since we can train up those garrison troops incredibly quickly, and instead strike where we can actually have a potential to have an impact. Let me pull one of the. No, I can't pull them off because they're there and they're needed there. Okay. All right. So what we have to do is we have to hope that the Iranians don't take too much before we're actually able to get to them. How long is it going to be till you're trained? Oh my god. Okay, alright. Okay, alright. Yeah, we have to put something in their way. Some form of blocking force. So the British in Africa are basically on the last leg. So what we'll do is we'll put a blocking force here. As best we can. And we will put a... basically a blocking force here. And let me just very quickly... You're going to have to go by sea. There's no other way. And we'll have to hope that our troops in Arabia can hold with what they have. Oh, don't tell me. Lads, why did you... That wasn't what I wanted. I wanted you to go up there, please. Thank you. And do so rapidly. Did they actually... They did actually join the... Okay, well that's... Okay, so the Turks have actually got to deal with Russian forces in the north. So that's not too bad. They have to fight the Russians, so... And they have to fight in the west now as well. So... They can't turn their entire army on us. That's one good thing. We do have a limited capability to resist. Have to withdraw northwards, but we can do it. Come on, I need these divisions now. Come on, go, 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 go. Come on, go, 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 go. Okay, we managed to get our... Okay, we might be able to conduct a local counterattack if we blunt them. And then hit them very, very hard. Yeah, the Allies will regain their positions in Africa, but it'll take them time. And time is what I need right now. It's what I don't have. Okay, I reckon we can actually do a local counteroffensive. It'll have to be basically done incredibly brutally. But I reckon we can do it. It's not quite the way I wanted to do it, but we can do it. And it will at least buy me time so that the Turks don't advance completely into Iranian territory. Luckily, my surrender limit is through the roof. So I'm unlikely to surrender until they've actually taken all of Iran's core states, even ones that don't have cities in them. So thank heaven for some small mercies. I'd have to buy time for the 60-unit force of troops that I'm preparing to actually, well, you know, get into position. Ugh, I'm so annoyed. We've lost some of the positions we gained in India. It's so annoying. Because of that foobar from my Indian troops that moved where they shouldn't have done. Still, we are able to do a counterattack. And Turkish troops are having problems now. Nearly there. That entire army group is nearly ready. And we've got the... give me a second. Show field commanders. Thank you. Yes, you need to be promoted. You need to be promoted. You need to be promoted. And then you need to be promoted, and one of you needs to be promoted to Field Marshal, but that can come later. What matters is the fact that we have the troops available to form an army group to halt the Turks. That's what matters. Again, we are making headway against the Turks, and they are being pushed back. It's not all straightforward. Turkish troops are suffering losses. But the Allies are snaking back up the trail to Suez. And taking it a second time will not be so easy. But we have managed to contain the situation. It was a bit of a nasty shock, but the situation has been contained. At least for now. The other fronts are slightly more unstable, but we can deal with it. We can deal with it. The Turks are stretching themselves way too thin. Yeah, it's quite clear they're not advancing on that front. Okay, that's fine. In that case, then, if they're not going to advance, I'm sending you guys back to Arabia to hold the Arabian front. Because that matters. Come on. Nearly there. Come on. Okay. Right, the emergency army group has been deployed. "60 new divisions. All with generals with a skill in entrenchment, which is what we need. Get to the front as rapidly as you can. Use the Iranian railway network, it's what we built it for. Oh, the... Right, okay. Now I have to swing the main force of the... army around to once again drive southwards into Africa. One of these forces will be volunteering to take the western flank of the garrison duties. Again, the forces involved are incredibly overstretched. And the US is involved, of course. Yeah, I know. I think the Turks may have bitten off more than they can chew here. They're having to fight Russia in a land war, and the Russians are winning. Okay, so as long as we get our troops in position, we should be fine. Okay, can we get a field marshal yet? Nope, we need 3 more. Okay, we need okay, cut the Danes off and crush them. All these troops that snaked into... Oh, come on! Everything was literally perfect. Okay. All right. Thank you. Again, cut off Allied troops that were stupid enough to make this silly forced march northwards. Kill the rest. Deal with the Turks. Send them scurrying back home. Then we can prepare for the counter-offensive against Turkey. Are you... Why am I at war with Japan? What possible reason do I have to be at war with Japan? Are you being flipping serious right now? What possible grounds do I have to be at war with Japan? Why? Why am I at war with Japan? I don't know if I've got the reserves of equipment to do that again. Okay, I do. Right. Give me the 48 divisions. Pull those boys out anyway, they're not going to be able to stop the Russians. We hit them, and we hit them, and we hit them again. We keep hitting them until they give up and go home. That is what we do, it's what we've always done, and we'll keep doing it. I am not going to lose all the war potential I've gained just because certain big-name players have joined the conflict. I refuse. On the plus side, they're invading from horribly ill-supplied areas, which gives me time to actually get troops in position to deal with them. So, yeah. Oh no, the Russians may actually not get that far. So stay there, actually, I think. Yeah, can we at least drive the Russians off that bit of territory? Turks off that bit of territory, that'd be grand. Okay. Right, continue with the operation. We've African Front 2 Electric Boogaloo. Fu, you have pockets of UK forces all over Persia before the Turks got involved. Can't be perfect. Probably could have stopped at Suez. Maybe, but... problem is that still doesn't remove the front. It's gonna be... Yeah, this is gonna be a rough war. But I do actually... I'm in a position where I have the equipment to actually produce divisions incredibly rapidly to fill gaps. Nuclear reactor. Yes, we need what we need what we have. Luckily, the Russians are attacking into incredibly bad supply areas, so their advance is glacial. We still control the railway networks. We can put troops in place quickly. In fact, the emergency garrison divisions are nearly trained. I've basically hit an emergency mobilization button I didn't want to hit until later. But I've at least built up the stockpiles where I can do it. Okay, we've just about managed to stop the attack in Iran. Sorry, in Arabia, I should say. Right. Okay. Again, another new army group. I'm going to call this one the Northern Theatre. So again, split that down the middle. We don't have any generals for it. But we still have all the supply dumps, and the enemy will have none. And we will have truck-based supplies, and they will not. Again, same thing here. Trucks. Trucks for everybody. Come on. Oh, of course, that's right. Regina de Sul is the allies. Hang on 1 second. They weren't there before. Okay, we'll split the African army in half. Half will go on, half will go west, half will go south. Have this be something more distinctive. Okay, we've managed to stymie the Russian attacks from the north. So, the northern front is actually secured. They don't have any of the supply dumps yet. They will do in a second if we're not careful, but I'm going to prevent them from seizing it. They have none of the northern supply dumps they would need to successfully continue their offensive. We've checked them before they managed to get them, thank God. Okay, yeah, that's clear to me. The North African campaign is not going to work. We need to punch out. We need to punch out and then reconsider entirely how we're doing this. Because, yeah, the Turks are just more of a problem. Yeah, get over there, lads. Come on, hurry up. Hurry up. Hurry up. Right, breakout attempt. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Arabia is a lost cause, so I'm going to... so we're going to pull these guys out. And we're going to fold the armies into the forces that are... Actually, yeah, no, I'm going to risk the sea voyage. Can we actually get out? No, okay, that's not a strait. We can actually get out. Okay, so, yeah, the mobile forces are going to make for the port of Suez, please. Make for the port of Suez, and thence by sea to Fars, please. The Persian fleet will be deployed to ensure that they make it. It's a risky operation, but it's worth it. Why can't you leave? Why can't you leave? Why can't you leave? You should be able to leave. Why can't you leave? Valid... What do you mean there's no valid path? Are you kidding? There is, in fact, a valid path. Out through the Red Sea. It's not a strait, it's right there. Wait, maybe the Straits of... Are you kidding? Okay, so we have to fight our way out. Right, okay, do it. Do it now. Do it while we still have supply. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you, gentlemen, to hold a line open. But yeah, everybody following the same route. Everybody following the same route. We're breaking out. Yeah, no front lines, but this is just a solid breakout attempt. We are hell for leather. We have to be. At least the eastern front's alright, and the northern front's fine. It's just the west that we have problems. Come on. We have to break out. I'm not losing all of my elite troops. Oh, come on! I'm not losing my elite divisions. They're the only ones that can do offensive action. If we lose them, we lose the war. And we lose it quickly. Take Tel Aviv. Take Tel Aviv. At least take Tel Aviv so you can be disbanded. And at least I'll get the supply back because you'll have a port. Come on. Come on. If I can get the supplies back, I can reconstitute the divisions. Come on, come on, come on. No! This is bullshit. Everybody out. Everybody out of the theater. Come on. Okay, we took Tel Aviv. Okay, managed to... Oh, we lost a lot of the factories we gained through our conquests. And a lot of our stockyards as well. With the loss of our mobile forces, we lost a lot of the firepower that won us the early campaigns. In fact, all of it. And we can't reconstitute the divisions now. They're gone. This is bullshit. I wasn't at war with them before, and I am now. Because of them, I've lost my... Well, I managed to save all the army from the Middle East, at least. That's something. Well, we have at least managed to just about secure our borders. So that's something. Oh, such are the fortunes of war. Yeah, I would go even further than that. The only advantage that I have is I'm not the sole target. And that some limited counter-offensives are possible in certain key areas. So especially to retake key objectives from the invading powers. The situation isn't hopeless, it's just more difficult than it should be. At least the northern front is actually stable. And I mean actually stable. There's no hope of them actually breaking in. Even in the east, there's not much hope of them breaking in. Um, Again, the goal here is limited counter-offensive to try and retake some of the land we've lost. It turned on a knife edge. 1 second we were fine, the next we weren't. Still, things could be worse. The fronts are stable now. We just have to think about how we're going to counterattack rather than how we're going to go on vast defensive operations. Retaking as much Iranian land as possible is something we need to do. I'm grateful at least that the wars are now multipolar and the UK is now having the same problem I'm having of fighting on numerous fronts. And again, we're committing to the offensive actions now, because these are the ones that will enable us to actually retake certain key positions, including one of our supply hubs that was lost to us and we really do need back if we are to have any hope of resisting the invasion. One of the reasons for the quick invasion of Arabia was a plan to try and seize the... The Turks weren't supposed to join. That was the first domino to fall. Then the Russians joining was worse. It just piled misery on misery. Now we're basically fighting... an incredibly massive conflict to try and keep hold of our possessions, but it's just stupid. The Turks have a stupidly massive army that for some reason decided to join the Allies. I'm going to be game-ended because of some stupid bullshit. There was no indication of the Turks joining the war. None. Just out of nowhere. Boom. War declaration. No focuses, nothing. We need to shorten the front. Problem is we're burning through equipment now. Far faster than I need to be. Yeah, get me some of these aircraft to come back west and provide air support. We need it. Okay, we have retaken the supply hub. That makes things slightly better. Gradual offensive operations to retake lost territory. That's what we need to do. To focus our efforts. Shuffle our divisions round as rapidly as we can. Do what offensive actions we can where we can. And try not to die. Yeah, I need jet engines. We need jet aircraft. I mean, we're contesting the skies fairly well, given that the major air battles are probably happening in Europe right now. And the only reason the Allies are in even this invasion at all is the Turkish army. If it wasn't for the Turks, they wouldn't be in this invasion at all. Okay, so, just about stabilized it. It's a close shave, but we did just about stabilize it. Thanks to the heroic efforts of some of our divisions. But the front was just about stabilized. Okay, alright. That's it, keep the offensive going. If it's succeeding, keep the offensive going. Try and drive the Turks as far back as we can. Who is China fighting? Same people we're fighting, but I suppose I could bring them into war with the rest of the world. Wouldn't help though. Wouldn't really distract the Allies from the fronts they're already fighting on. My goal is to regain my oil fields as well. Well, what oil fields I don't currently possess. I don't possess all of them, which I should do. Again, we don't let them control crucial rail junctions if we can avoid it. You counterattack, you constantly put them on the back foot, you don't let them win. There. Again, keep throwing in troops if we've got them, keep throwing in men. Retake key positions and inch by inch drive them back. Steadily, slowly. Turkey seems around to join the Axis. No, I haven't joined the Axis. I'm not in any faction. The fact that well, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet, Knight. All of them are fighting me and they still can't kill me. They still can't kill me. And I'm actually doing counter-offensives now. We're taking back key terrain features. Okay. Alright. So. Again, the main goal here is to try and drive enemy forces out of whatever Iranian territory they currently occupy as best we can, and if not, okay, so we've recaptured the oil derrick, which is good. The offensive is continuing, this is also good. Okay. So we've managed to do most of what I wanted to do. It's not perfect, but it's not disastrous either. Thank God for secondary railway connections. That's all I'll say. Okay. We have the population, we have the equipment, we have the divisions, we've just got to... We've just got to think now. We've got to wait. We've just got to hope. The one front that's stable is the Indian front. It's not moved in, well, since it was basically reforged. That on the other part of the railway junction is not really a problem. Why are the Italians there? I don't really understand it. I'm not really going to question it either. Okay, so we've managed to retake the port of... So we've very nearly driven the... So, some of Iranian territory is nearly back. Just a gradual process now. The goal is to retake as much of this as we can. Although ideally what I would do is I would have my mobile division back, ideally. There we go. Because once that's done, that shortens the front massively and frees up more divisions in the north, which is good. Okay, we need more civs again. Because we don't have enough anymore owing to the losses we suffered in territory. I admire their commitment to going on the offensive, but it seems a little bit silly given that... Okay, so that was... Yeah, that was the 4th International falling. That was unsurprising to literally anybody. Well, to be fair, Night. I was at war with the Allies first, and I was winning. And then the Turks joined. I managed to stop that, and then we'd stabilize the situation again. Then the Russians joined, and everything went to hell. I'm at war with like 3 different factions, all of which joined independently for reasons I don't fully understand. The world is complex, and basically there's 5 factions all fighting each other. And then me as a 6th independent also fighting all of them. It's the only reason I'm surviving. Okay. So anyone not involved in defensive operations needs to be moving by Iran's railway network to wherever they need to be. Okay. So we do have the air support we need pretty much everywhere. Although I'm going to probably bring the air support north to the Japanese front. Because if we can retake the railway lines, we can probably... look to, if not push the Russians out, then at least, okay, so if we've stabilized the situation. Iran cannot fight all 5 powers at once fleet. Watch me! No, Knight, normally you'd be right, if they weren't all fighting each other, which they are. They are all fighting each other. So yes, I can fight all of them at once. Although, to be fair, I didn't originally plan to, but that's how it's happened, so that's how we're doing it. You fight the war you're given, not the one you want, although you try to fight the one you want if at all possible. Iran can into fight everybody. Funnily enough. Well, Rapture, that's a fair point. I can fight everyone. Winning is another matter entirely. Let's not get cocky on this northern front. Remember, we're just driving them back to the river. That's all we're doing. We're just driving the Russians back to the start line. That's all we're doing. Driving them back to pre-war borders. That's all we're doing. Fair enough, Knight. Hey, Knight, it's on my head be it. If I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. But this campaign's going to go for a while. Thank God I've got the super weapons to make it more interesting. There we go. Safeguard the homeland. That's going to be good. I'll also be able to core some of these northern states soon. They're not able to invade through India, which is fantastic. And we're retaking certain key territories to our west. We have supplies, they don't. Okay, so let's hold on that front, please. We're not making any progress there, so let's hold and throw some of our troops northward to try and retake that province to re-establish the Riverline fortification network. Okay, so the Russians are there. They have basically abysmal supply. Let's hit them in the face while both of them are fighting. See if we can't take back two provinces at once. As for air power, yep, ground support integration, very good. Naval strike torpedo tactics, all of this is good stuff. We've managed to get a lot of our dockyards back, so I can do what I want to do, which is continue to build my U-boat arm. Well, submarine arm, I should say, for Indian Ocean operations. How much range do these have? 650, that's not really enough. It's good enough for the Persian Gulf, but not really enough for the rest of what I want to do. So we're going to need a new type of submarine. The Russians, I haven't really seen anything yet, so no land ships, no, so no land ships I've not seen, Knight. I've not seen any, I've not seen anything too, like, they've got some heavy tanks, but they're not really doing them any good, given where we're fighting. So I'm fighting and killing their heavy tanks here. But I haven't really seen any super weapons, quote-unquote. I'm researching jet engines myself to start getting, jet aircraft, because the one arm of the Air Force, the one arm that isn't actually being shattered completely, is the Iranian Air Force. The Iranian Air Force is somehow giving as good as it's getting, which is honestly surprising me. We're still a good ways off anyone having the atom bomb yet, so... And I'm also working my way towards that as well. Oh, the UFO crashed, so someone's going to get flying saucers. That'll be interesting. Okay, we're close to actually re-securing... oh, no, you go there, please. Thank you. And go there fairly rapid, if you don't mind, just so we stop the... That's alright, we can counter-attack and take it off them, it's fine. There we go, it's all well and good. Not a problem at all. There we go, we're re-establishing the Riverline Fort. Let's try and retake Baghdad if we can. Looks like the troops down here, given what other fronts they have to fight on, it's not surprising that the troops directed to fight the Iranians are B-line formations. The only real A-line formations on this entire front are the Turks, because it's really the only front they're fighting on. Although the Japanese are making inroads into the Turks, is probably why we're seeing less and less troops on this front. Oh, hello. Nope, centrifuges is more effective in the long run. For our reactors. Very good. Nope, we still don't... I still don't have enough for my super heavy howitzers. I want my 8-inch howitzers, damn it. That's all I want. All I want is my 8-inch howitzers. I'm not asking much. Actually, how's the tank core doing? Oh, the tank core's gone, isn't it? Oh, yeah, that's right. The Elite Division had a tank support, didn't it? We should probably rebuild some of these, actually. Just to try and get some form of offensive force available again. Yeah, and then we're running... So if I can get 7 divisions that can do offensives, that'll help. And get an improved light tank as well. Okay, we're actually going to retake Baghdad from the Americans. Drum roll, please. Roll credits. Yeah, we're not seeing much of any actual... Okay, we did actually secure our... There's no allied air power here at all. I'll keep some basic older aircraft in Pakistan, but most of the more modern aircraft in theatre are going to go north to the Russian front. Okay, we've retaken Baghdad. Yippee-ki-yay. Huge success. High fives all round. Well done, lads. Well done. See if we can't retake Basra from the British as well. Cut them off from naval resupply. Go. Not perfect, but we're doing better than we otherwise could be. The counter-offensives have gone far better than I was ever expecting them to. There are only certain key things I actually want to take off the invading powers now. Before I solidify and start to rebuild the army. Kill-death ratio for the Iranian Air Force is not that great, but we are actually not doing too badly. Let me just... There we go. Okay. Right, everyone just hold in place, please. We're now just going to hold in place, and we're going to let our supply situation recover. Because it needs to recover. We have enough trains, we don't need them. What we need is infantry equipment and support equipment. Yeah, let me throw more CAS into there to do more CAS damage, because they are really trying to break through now, and... There we go. So we need the CAS damage to stop them. So let me just send one unit from that going each way. Commit you in there, commit you in there. Send one of you... to the west, please. Thank you. There we go. Front line is steadily recovering. Situation normal. Inability for the Indians to break through on the Indian front. We've entrenched thoroughly and solidly. Northern front shaky but stable. There we go, commit fresh troops. We have to. That front's mostly holding, so we're doing alright there. Russians are bleeding men and equipment, though. Russian army is a shadow of what it was when it invaded. If I can get my elite divisions back into the field, I can actually start doing some offensive action. There we go. There we go. Once we've stopped this Russian offensive, we'll be able to breathe a little easier. So again, send you that way, and send you that way. There we go. I give them all the ambusher trait, because that way they dig more trenches. Very good. Again, same thing here. Dig more and better trenches. The deeper the trench you have to hide in, the less that evil Mushon ram with a massive bottle of vodka can kick your teeth in. At least that's the thinking. Okay, Austria has joined a war, but it's not the war. Yeah, they're actually just starting to run out of equipment. We're just killing so much of it. Oh god, yeah, the Cass attack. Oh my lord. If we commit a four-pronged assault, can we retake this airfield? So if we can, that will radically change the front line. I wanted to wait till I had my improved divisions, but I'm not going to get them. I have the tank spare, so I'm going to add a proper light tank as well, just to really hammer home the amount of capability these divisions are going to have, because they're going to need it. They're absolutely going to need it. When you're done, dig another. Then keep doing that until the enemy gets there. Yeah. Dig a trench. When you're done, dig another trench. And then another one. Wait. Ball tank. Oh, God, the ball tank. That's funny. No, we do not need the ball tank. As funny as that would be, no. As long as nothing happens, we should be okay. I'm just going to stay like this for a minute, just while things are ticking over. And then we'll keep an eye on things carefully. Okay. Things aren't perfect, but they could be far worse. Right. So, this will be an independent army under the command of our expert general. So, the real goal here has to be the West. Has to be. Oh, he has Improv Expert. This gets better. When the West is under our control, then our plans can really grow. Where are our... Ah, excellent. Submarine service. And this is First Flotilla. Luckily, our subs can get out of the Straits of Hormuz. What do you mean? Oh, so you're telling me my ships can't get out until we retake? Alright. Okay. You're a lot weaker than I thought you were. Yeah, support equipment we don't have. But we don't have a lot of everything, but... Yeah, I need you guys to not have AA now. I'm sorry, but I know AA's been helping you, but I need you to not have it now, because otherwise we're not going to have enough to build support equipment and other things that our troops desperately need. What's that noise? What raid? Oh, the Russians are going to raid an oil field in Baghdad, which we don't own. Okay, you do that. The Russians and Japanese continue to beat their head against a brick wall on the assumption that the brick wall will eventually break if they beat their head against it enough times. Which isn't how that works, but nobody tell them that. Let me consolidate some of these divisions quickly. There, that'll help. Going to Midnight Fleet? I may as well, Knight. I may as well. Yeah, this is really not ideal. We're looking at exceptional difficulties. More and more problems. But we have to try and solve them as best we can. Okay. Just constant rolling attacks in the north. Stockpiles I did not want to burn through have been burned through. They dare come into my little corner of the world? It's brave of them. What? How? Oh, they actually, yeah, they are full destroyers, flying frigates, but the cruiser and the pre-dreadnought should be enough to basically send them packing. We're basically attempting to outlast all of our opponents. They're all fighting each other. They're all burning through manpower and equipment. We're trying our best to not burn through manpower and equipment as best we can. Okay, so that's now... Okay, so now the Czechs are at war with... Well, yeah, they were at war anyway, but... This is horribly messy as conflicts go. They keep trying to break through into northern Persia, but they're not going to do that. How can Italy seek support from the Hellenic Republic? They're a puppet, I believe. Okay, we are steadily recovering. It's not perfect, but we are steadily recovering. Northern front is holding. Troops are entrenching more and more and more. Getting more and more experienced. Casualties are starting to... Actually, how much support artillery do we have in storage? 990. How much would it cost to give each of the emergency garrison forces a battery of guns? 12. 12 by 48 is about 480. That should work. And it will help them resist. Well, we've managed to actually solidify every single one of the fronts. To a point where breakthroughs are no longer likely. Now we have to plan for the counterattack. Situation is not the best, but it could be far worse. The fact we managed to stabilize it at all is good news. There we go, bridge crossing. Thank you. There we go, that's the way. There we go. Air power is engaging over the northern front and it's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. A lot of our dive bombers are doing the work. I might even keep going actually. I want to see if I can actually remedy the situation before we finish. Because we have infantry anti-tank now, it's just sending armor against us doesn't actually mean you win. There we go. Yeah, the limited scale offensives along most of the front, which is not very surprising given what's going on. Yeah, that's not really working. Now the counter-attacking, which is again unsurprising. There goes the old equipment stockpile. Ah, well. I have to admire the Japanese and the Russians. I will admit they are determined to throw their heads against a brick wall and use their head as the force with which to break that brick wall. You have to admire their blind commitment, if nothing else. Our defensive garrison forces have engineers. They don't! Well, the problem is that... Oh, actually, hang on. Let's... Yeah, trade a rifle company for an engineer company. Actually, how much will that cost to trade? 15. So 15 to... that. Nah, we'll leave it as is for now. It'll do for now. And then we will actually improve our artillery for the first time in years. The reason we haven't is because we've needed production to keep going at a rapid rate. And it has. But, well. We need super heavy howitzers to break the stalemate. We're not going to do it any other way. We need that heavy bang. The problem is we can't bring in air power. Because we need to retake one of the airfields forward. To try and get us access to forward aviation. Yeah, they're trying to raid all of our... Oh, they've raided our facility. Cheeky buggers. We lost 30 planes. Ha! Take that. The Eastern Front in India is just stable. The Northern Front is actually fairly stable. Especially with the artillery that's now arrived to the Northern Front. Go. We're not likely to break on any of the fronts, it's just we can't push, they can't push. We need something to break the deadlock, and we don't have the industry to do that right now. I'm working on getting the industry to actually do it, but again. I don't need air production right now. What I need is free repair. Oh, it's a full-scale offensive, but they just can't do it. I admire the Russian and Japanese commitment, but it's not doing them any good. God, how many? We've passed the 10 million mark in just... Will White Finland accept a stalemate peace? If they do, that means I can wrap up in Afghanistan. No. Okay, so we can't even wrap up that war. Does White Finland even still exist? Yes, they do. And they're just stuck in the same war as we are. There's very little that can be done. It's just an endless stalemate. No side's the winner. We're just locked in a stalemate now, all of us. No one can win. We are still getting most of our rubber from Sam, so we can keep building things, which is actually quite nice. There we go. Improve small airframes. There we go. We're doing actually fairly well. Decent amount of fuel. We're self-sufficient. We may not be able to push out, but we're sure as hell sure you can't push in. Yeah, there we go. Build me up a level 3 airfield. I want to bring air power in. Let me expand that just so we have enough air power to bring in, because I want to bring in a great deal of air power. Yep, keep digging trenches, lads. It's all we can do. We're much better at this than they are. How many Russian troops have died? 2 million, of which Iran has killed 200,000. And how many Japanese troops have died? Good lord. We've already killed 200,000 Japanese troops as well, good lord. Purified graphite is the better moderator. We're going for long-term reactor construction. We're not doing things by halves. Right, finally. Super heavy howitzers. Need these. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. It's Iran versus the world, and Iran is winning! I mean, problem is, if Austria dies, I go down with them. That's the problem with joining a faction. If Austria dies, I go down with them. It's the only real problem here. There we go. Dig more trenches! Why not? I mean, why not dig more trenches? What's the worst that can happen? Battle carrier, subcarrier, nuclear torpedo, missile launching submarine. None of these things I need right now, but... Oh, hello, one on red prototype. Ah, excellent. More advances. Good stuff. And now we can get more research. Very good. Go. Stop trying to... It's just stalemate. Continuous, constant stalemate. Ah, they are actually convoys moving. Very interesting. Plenty of action here in the Persian Gulf. go, 28th of September. Then we can bring our 2... Oh my god. Okay, the Americans have carrier aircraft. I say again, the Americans have carrier aircraft. They're bringing in B-36 aircraft carriers carrying Goblin fighters. Oh boy. Oh, that's interesting. The Americans are actually bringing in aircraft carriers, as in aircraft that carry aircraft. Oh my god. They've actually finished a special project. Holy smokes, Batman. That has meaningfully, in fact... Ah, yes, Sunday. Are the Germans still alive or not? The world's a little... Well, the Germans are alive. They're just sat there doing nothing. But yeah, the rest of the world is completely buggered. It's like a 5-way Second World War. It's just insane. Ah, naval air power showing up. Good, 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 good. Very good. Hit him. Hit him hard. While that battle's going on, I'm just going to very quickly design my new tank. Given this one has to fight other tanks, it's going to have to be something very decent. Oh, the problem is, though, is that we need better guns. Please stop resisting. I will take this airfield. You can't stop me. But okay, you can in fact stop me, but please stop trying to stop me. And switch the production back to aircraft production. We need to increase the amount of aircraft we build. Oh, we're killing their carrier aircraft. Oh my goodness. Commandant Galileo, the Iranian regime is fine. The Imperial troops are doing their level best to secure, to retake key areas that the enemy has attempted to seize. Air power is in play. Iranian CAS aircraft are doing the work. And we are actually now able to CAS our way through. Ah, yes, the super heavy howitzers. This is good. This is good. And we get a hold of them. I knew that all we needed was additional, well... additional clout, if you'd like. Yeah, we need war bonds. We absolutely do need war bonds to help fund the increasing construction of our war industry. We need more civs to build more mills. Like I say, as long as I keep my offensives limited, I'm actually fairly able to make gains. Given that everyone's army's a little bit undersupplied right now. I also secured the Persian Gulf just to make sure that we don't get any nasty naval invasion surprises. And hit him again. Again, if we can take the airfield back, we deny them an airfield, we gain an airfield. And we're one step closer to pushing them out of Persia proper. And then Mosul, then we can start looking towards retaking Mosul province. It's a gradual thing, but we'll get there. A bunch of starving Russian and... Okay, we lost a heavy cruiser there. That's a bit annoying. Lost 2 bombers. They lost some destroyers. We lost... again. So some of these naval battles are not going as well as we'd like. Still, the British haven't deployed any heavy assets to the region, so that's not too bad. I want to raid my nuclear facility, those buggers. It's very cheeky of them. Oh my god, the dogfighting carrier plane. That's just very silly. Okay, we have managed to actually take that. I am really impressed we managed that. Okay, so now that we've managed that, we need to move on to our next phase. So for me, I want to do the same thing to other airfields the Allies control. There are a few weak points in the Allied lines. Okay, one of our battleships has just been caught out of position for some reason I don't quite fully understand. Don't quite understand what happened. Oh, good lord, the entire... Oh my god, they just casually dunked on our entire navy. It's not dead, but it's battered and in port. Okay, so as per usual, we will now take offensive action. And again, you want to hit it from as many sides as we can. Using as much force as we can to guarantee a successful breakthrough. It also means Baghdad is no longer in circle, so that's good. Oh, we lost the Ares. That's not so good. Yeah, whatever subs we have need to go towards the Persian Gulf flotilla, because that's being badly battered. Again, I admire the Russians trying to, again, brick wall, face. I admire your commitment, but I do seriously question your desire to throw that much men at an invasion of Persia. Given you know, have bigger problems you need to deal with right now. Wow. Thanks, Denmark. Japan and the USA have probably fought a series of inconclusive naval actions in the Pacific. Yeah, looks like it. The Japanese are actually building new non-Yamato class battleships that have seemingly lost the Yamato. The US Navy is stupidly large, but what were you expecting? The UK fleet, again, is stupidly large, but again, what were you expecting? There we go. Yep, limited female service I am actually fine with. It might cost us some political power, but it will mean we get more people into the army. Which is good. This isn't really ideal. I had hoped to have more limited offensives and to do more work with more forces. But support equipment losses are gradually being made up. So what's the difference? So organization goes down, reconnaissance goes up, everything else goes up. Honestly, you guys can be emergency garrison forces. You don't need to be defensive garrisons. Only the Western Front needs to be defensive garrisons. It's the only front that actually has to do some defensive fighting. Some offensive, I should say, fighting. Get me the most capable of the air wings we have in the region. And get them forward deployed. The Americans have brought their own Mustangs. It's an interesting one. It's an interesting kerfuffle, make no mistake. Not going to lose, but we're not winning either. Now the Russians have built 2 new battleships. Interesting. The Germans are going a little bit crazy. The French have built an Alsace class, which they probably got off the Germans. The UK has landed in Europe again, but their invasion is already under threat and is tenuous. They're trying to push the Italians out of Africa. I don't know if they're succeeding or not. Well, that's something. Why are we actually attacking? What do we gain from that? Don't really gain anything from that. Well, we're not in danger of capitulating. Okay, the Japanese are making some headway into the Turks. That'll be the time to push out when the Turks actually collapse. Or the Japanese make decent headway and they're staffing their front line with a bunch of second line divisions. That will be the time to actually make headway. If we can. We may not be able to. The Italians are trying, bless them. It's not going to work. The only way to break a stalemate like this is with a really big gun, or a few really big guns. That's what I'm getting. If we can get them. That's what we've got to do. Then we jump on British naval forces when we can find them quite weak, and then we hit them. And then we sink 2 light cruisers, which is good. And 4 destroyers. And then that gives us just enough air power in that region to do what we need to do. The problem we've got is we're basically looking at, I'm not quite saying complete and total problems, but we're looking at a stalemate we can't win. But we also can't lose either. I wonder. Would the UK be willing to accept a stalemate? Oh. Well, that's interesting. Okay, that's good. So it's given us a truce with the various members of the Allied powers. Which is good. Because now it means I can turn my army round. And now we go and slap Russia in the face. I'm very glad it was a 1,000,000 to 1 shot, but the Allies were willing to accept a return to status quo, return to a stalemate. And so there we are. We have now a new stalemate. Or is it a new peace? Thank God we do. Yeah, we're looking to break out to Baku as fast as we can. Rely on the weakened Russian forces. Break out to Baku as quickly as we can. Because we're now no longer at war with the Allies, they're willing to send me Lend-Lease because I'm fighting the Russians. Which means, like I said, we're going to fight the Russians. We're going to take a reasonable amount of land off them. Not stupid amounts, but enough that I feel compensated for the war effort I've put in. And then, later on, we will attack the Allies again. And this time, my friends, we will succeed. It's not so much that I was afraid of losing, it's more down to the fact I needed the Allies to let their guard down. The only way to win is to make them let their guard down so that... No, I'm not joining the Allies and I'm not accepting any non-aggression pacts. I will accept Lend-Lease, though. Again, it's all down to the fact that I need to move forwards. But that was the result of the war with the Allies. There is a new status quo in terms of where the front is. The Eastern Theatre now has a border inside India on the river line, which is actually fairly good for our purposes. The Northern Front is still under siege with the Russians, and the new Western Front is now pushing up into Russia. The plan is to force the Russians to accept a status quo peace. Not a white peace, but a annexed land that I have taken will be transferred to me. I'm not too happy with the fact that I had to, what's the word? Do what I had to do in order to secure a peace with the United Kingdom, but we were able to secure a peace and that didn't result in the loss of too much Iranian territory. Only 2 provinces. And we still have all of our eastern territories, which are the ones we'll be able to probably core fairly shortly. And we also gained territory in the east from India. The plan here is relatively simple. We will endeavour to construct... Sorry, to defeat Russia in detail. Push them all the way back up to Volgograd if we can. Then, if they will accept it, we will make them sign a peace. If not... Then, if they will accept it, we'll ask the Japanese shogunate to sign a stalemate peace, locking the borders in place. Then we will prepare again for the war with the Allies, keeping constant border guards on all of our borders. And with that, I bring this stream to a close. Thank you so much everyone for watching, thank you so much everyone for commenting, hope you've had a fantastic time, see you all on Sunday!